Hello there everyone, welcome back, and I'm here to be talking about Joker, which is the latest film in the series of Warner Brothers releases this year. Now, before I get into the actual discussion of the video, I just want to point out Warner Brothers had a pretty poor year this year when it comes to their films either being critically panned, having box office disappointment to failures, or both, or controversy like this film has had. And I mean, if it keeps going on like this, like if Doctor Sleep has any situation like this, I think I would have enough material to do an SBID on that. But anyways, back to the main video. Joker stars Joaquin Phoenix as the Clown Prince of Crime in what's first his like actual film on his origin, or this particular interpretation of the Joker. 'Cause Joker doesn't really have like a well-known identity. This is like a original thing. Like Arthur Fleck is the name of this Joker, and basically it's about this guy who has it pretty rough. Like he has an awful job. He's really poor. He has people that treat him bad all the time. He lives with his mom, who's just kind of like ditzy and not really there. And he has lots of psychological and mental problems. And all of it comes to a head with a series of unfortunate events that really delve into this character study on this character as he slowly becomes the Joker that we all know. And it's directed by Todd Phillips, who did The Hangover. I was like, wait. I'm not gonna sugarcoat, guys. If you saw my thumbnail, this movie is a masterpiece. This is a fantastic movie. And what made it so great is like, before going in, I was like, how could you do a movie on the Joker? Because I was very curious on what they would do. But when I started seeing footage and marketing and stuff for it, I was like, this is something special. This is gonna be an interesting movie. And then I heard it was rated R. I'm like, no way, because I mean, just the hype going in, and then hearing how it won a bunch of stuff. Like it won the Golden Lion, I think, at Venice, which the past couple films that have won that have at least been nominated, if not won Best Picture. So that was really interesting. So it's obviously an Oscar play for sure. And the film is, I mean, it was debuted strong on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's dropped to the 60s last time I checked, or low 70s. And like critics are really divisive on it because it's had so much controversy. Like some people say it promotes violence and it promotes this type of behavior, and I think like I can understand why people are saying that because there are lots of really gruesome stuff in it, but it's not nearly as bad as other movies are. But there's some stuff in here that make this movie feel so real, like what happens to this character in this movie. You can see stuff like that happen in the real world, so I get it. But I don't think that's the message and point of the movie. The point is to, like, for starters, treat people with decency. Don't single them out. Like, the system is really screwed up in this movie, which there's some similarities to how it is today. Like, it's just like, if you keep pushing someone too far, how far is far? And this film has lots of great in-depth questions and stuff on this type of stuff. And it's really driven by a phenomenal performance from Joaquin Phoenix. Like, I'm positive this guy, if he at least gets nominated for Best Actor, let alone win Best Actor. He was magnificent in this film. And what they did with like the iconic Joker laugh, how they incorporated it with his character was brilliant. Whoever thought of that, it was brilliant. The cinematography is gorgeous, how it like showed lawn shots, establishing shots of like the city, like lawn takes. It's just like really well done stuff. The score is haunting, really well done. It's like, I wouldn't like buy it or anything, but like in the term of the movie, it was really good. The supporting cast, like they're pretty memorable. Some of them had really surprising stuff in the movie, like Zazie Beetz, who plays what you think is like his girlfriend or love interest or whoever in the film. That was really interesting and surprising what they did there. Robert De Niro's character is just kind of like, he isn't really there that much, but he's there for enough. You're like, okay, I get what they're having him there for. The guy that plays Bruce Wayne's dad, I was like there's just so much stuff here, like how it barely has like Batman and stuff in it, but it's still incorporated near like in the story and stuff is really well done. It's like it's really based, it's its own thing. And the thing that really drives this movie for me is just like you could anticipate building, but there's so many moments in the film where my theater, like it was nearly sold out at 4 p.m. showing, like where like a lot of people just like gasped and were shocked. Like it's very rare that you have a movie that can do that throughout the whole runtime. It's like an over 2-hour movie. There's like every 10 minutes or so something would happen that would just legitimately shock the audience. Very few movies can do that I know of, and that's something to really praise. Now, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, this movie has stirred up a lot of controversy, and critics are taking offense to it, which, like I said, I understand, but I just think that some of them are missing the point of the movie. It is spying like a lot of fear on like going to see it. It's like some people may do some wrong stuff throughout the movie's run, like like what happened in a while ago at that one theater. I'm not really gonna go in depth with that, but these are some really great concerns. So I completely understand if you're nervous. Like, for starters, don't take your kids to see this movie. I know it's a comic book movie and all, but it's not like Deadpool where it's all funny and it's really just gory and all. No, this really, do not take your kids to see this movie. Like, just don't. This was like a really different type of comic book movie. I was just floored. I was really surprised with a lot of the stuff in the movie. Like, I'm just trying to form a lot more thoughts, but I'm just still thinking about some of the major stuff that happens in it. And which, don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil or anything, but there was just so much great writing. Like, the writing in the script is so good here because it always had us guessing on what's real and what's not, what's gonna happen. And like, there's so much stuff that they build up and then they subvert the expectations completely and really shock us. And I was just really well done. I like how there are parts in the movie that feel like an old time movie, because I believe it takes place in the 80s, but just like the credits and how it opens, how it ends, and there's like the cast and how it announces stuff, it feels really old timey, like maybe the 40s and so forth, like that. I found that kind of cool, and like I said, the score matches it really well. Now onto the Oscar talk, because the movie's been getting heavenly like Oscar buzz. If Now, it's up there with Endgame for my favorite film of the year. It's fantastic. If Endgame doesn't get those major nominations, like especially for Best Picture, and this film gets it instead, I won't be mad, because this film, I think, deserves it as much or maybe even more. But for me personally, I'm still deciding on which movie I liked more, but Joker is a worthy film to be nominated for a comic book genre, because I'm positive that they won't nominate both. That would be pretty cool if they do, but I don't think the Academy's that far along yet to do that. But just for any of them to get nominated is still really well done. I think Todd Phillips should definitely get nominated for Best Director. Best Actor for sure. This is a lock, definitely. The score was really good, so I wouldn't be surprised if it got score and cinematography as well. Like, a bunch of this stuff is really good. And just, I mean, there's some really violent and really graphic stuff in this movie, but it's not like as much as I was expecting, like a slasher film, but it wasn't really supposed to be. I think the thing that's really getting people is how this stuff happens, like in real life, like what happens to this guy, and how it feels so real, and with the graphic stuff attached to it, it's having like such a huge response from people, which I totally get. Like, this is not an easy movie to sit through. Like, it could be really uncomfortable at times, especially near the end. It gets really crazy, but I mean, this film did its job. It's getting people to talk about these topics. It's made a big splash, that's for sure. I'm really curious to see how this film does box office wise. Critic wise, it's kind of, I'd say, a little over half. It's basically mixed though, at least on Rotten Tomatoes. But I'm really curious to see how this film does going forward, what people will say looking back on it. I mean, it's a brilliant movie. I'm just flabbergasted. Like, I had a feeling it'd be really good, but I mean, this is one of those few films where I'm like, this was really great. So, with all my discussion and rambling on this film, those were my thoughts on Joker. Now, what'd you all think of the film? If you've had a chance to see it, please let me know down below in the comment section. And if you want to hit the subscribe button, that'll be pretty great. Hit the bell as well to be notified on when I upload. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's SawyerSable or @SableSawyer. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.